And this morning, Super Bowl fans are reacting to a kinder tone among last night's commercials. Advertisers like Audi, Hyundai, and Heinz paid $4 million for every 30 seconds of airtime. CBS News analyst Frank Luntz put together a focus group to watch the results. Good morning.
Good morning.
So your team watched about 90 ads last night during the Super Bowl. They used those dials to figure out which ones they liked. Which one did best?
And you're right, by the way. It was a kinder, gentler advertising effort. And for some reason, ads that have animals have always done well in the Super Bowl. And Anheuser-Busch has got the game on animals, but this time, the ad of the puppy and the horse just so overdid everything else. We had women in the group crying. I want to acknowledge we even had one man in the group who was emotional about it. And that's because it tells a heartwarming story that extends over time. One of the keys in the Super Bowl, it's not what you do in the first 5 seconds that matters. It's what you do over the length of the 30, or in this case, it was a 60-second ad.
And that puppy, Frank, was so cute. You said animals do well, but that Doba Wawa, where it has the Doberman head on the Chihuahua body, do creepy ads work? Because I looked at that thing, that's creepy.
And there are a couple other ads where humans do strange things that the public doesn't respond to. The danger in this is you're putting so much money into the creation of the ads, and even more into the airing of the ads. It's about $4 million. Some of these ads cost over $1 million to create, and you wonder who actually did it and what kind of narcotics they were on. I think some of these creators are clearly from either Colorado or Washington State.
Let's take a look at Doritos, which you call the second best ad
ad of the evening.
That was good.
Hey, Mr. Smith. Want to try out my time machine? It runs on Doritos.
Sure. So now what?
Gotta put the whole bag in.
Okay.
Yes.
It's really working, Jimmy. This is the greatest moment of my life. Get out of my yard. Jimmy? You're so old.
That was
I want
good.
to make 2 points there. One is that men and women liked it evenly, which is very tough to do in a Super Bowl ad or any ad. And second is that you can't look like you're selling. But if you don't look like you're selling.
Even though you are selling.
Even though you are selling. And if you don't look like you're selling, then people don't remember the brand. Some of the highest tested Super Bowl ads of the last 10 years, people have no idea what car company it was for, what beverage company. What's great about that Doritos ad is that everybody knew it was Doritos, but they didn't feel put upon by the pressure of the ad.
What are the ads that just did not work?
There are a couple, and I think they may actually show them to you. The Scarlett Johansson ad, been there, done that. If it looks like an ad that you've seen again and again and again, it will not be successful. And then there, the Sonos ad just did not connect to people. The danger in Super Bowl advertising is if it doesn't seem real life. We want relationships, we want friendships, and we want to laugh.
And we like
or Charlie, or cry.
And we like you.
Did you cry at the?
Did you cry?
Did you cry?
No, I did not, but I love that ad.
But it was a
because
great
I love
ad.
dogs and horses.
You know what amazes me is that if a company is spending $4 million on an ad, you'd think they would focus group it their own so that they wouldn't have a bomb like this.
But
That's a very good point.
But the question when you focus group is it good in its own, by itself, or is it good in the overall context of a Super Bowl? It has to stand out. It's got all these other ads competing against it, people deciding when or not to use the restroom. So if it doesn't grab you immediately, you have a problem.
What about that Bud ad with the, quote, regular guy, where they told the story throughout the Super Bowl? How did that do? He was playing ping pong with Arnold Schwarzenegger at one point. He was in a big limo with other people.
Yes, one would have to ask how Arnold Schwarzenegger is doing at this point.
Yes.
Imagine going from,
that is a good question.
From governor of California to ping pong player. I'm not sure that was the direction he'd planned. It did reasonably well. It's memorable.
What was the ad that had a number of A-list actresses?
Yes, and it went back to Radio Shack, and that took you back to the 1980s. Did pretty well. The challenge there is, do you use people who remind them of someone who they want to see again, so now they can see how they looked, or is it bringing you back, let's say, to the 1970s? A number of Super Bowl ads in the last 10 years had a disco feel to it, and people didn't like it because nobody likes disco.
Are advertisers gearing more towards men or more towards women?
Great question. And the goal in the Super Bowl, because women are watching it just as much as men, is to get something that transcends age, that transcends gender, that transcends region. If you only appeal to women, you're missing half your audience there. And by the way, 42% of Americans specifically watch the Super Bowl for the ads. It's not just about the game anymore.
All right. That's it. I was at the game and then went home and watched the ads. That says something about my life. I want to watch the ads.
Yeah,
Thank you, Frank.
The game was over at, what, 10:30? And I was still watching ads at 3 in the morning.
Me too. Thank you, Frank.